citizen participation throughout the grant process.
So there's another opportunity for citizens to get involved. All right, so we'll move on to new business number 8, DEP presentation request.
Yeah. In the course of the past month, there have been questions raised as to the role of the Department of Environmental Protection, how they go about receiving applications, how they go about issuing permits, and with an obvious interest in the Rockwell case. And what I'd like to do is make a motion that the county commission authorize the county administrator to send a letter to the Department of Environmental Protection inviting them to make a presentation before a public presentation before this commission explaining the application and permitting process, what it is that they do, with an emphasis on what they did in the Rockwell case. This would be similar to the letter we asked you to write requesting the PSC hold their Mountaineer gas hearing here in the county.
All right, I actually want to amend your motion. Can we add and subsequently take comments or questions from residents in Jefferson County? I mean, the DEP works for taxpayers as we do. They should be more than happy to take their questions.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be.
I have a suggestion for that. If we could get some of those questions in advance so they have time to research the answers, that would be great. It wouldn't preclude people from asking questions on the fly, but having been in a position where I have to answer questions on the fly, sometimes it's nice to be able to go and say, and look up the permitting, what was filed, and look through the filings so that they have answers ready.
Yeah, because they can't know everything all the time.
I'm not
and
precluding
without those
people-
questions,
Right.
without those questions in advance, they may not have the answer until a later time. So I think it's only fair for them to be, if people want the answers to their questions, they know what the questions are.
Okay, so I'm okay with some of that. The problem is, these are, oh, sorry, Jane. Go ahead.
No, my other issue that I wanted the DEP to address was to explain how a facility does self-monitoring. I want to understand the physical part of how it works and how the information is transmitted.
And so forth.
I personally, I agree with that totally, too. I think questions on the fly are better. These are the experts, right? They should know this stuff like, procedurally, if there's a procedure question, that's fine, I think. But if it's like a pollution question, these are experts, right?
Yeah, but you don't know who they're going to send down.
Well, they should probably send an expert if it's pollution related, so.
Well,
Hey, give it a shot, see what happens.
So, and it's fine, I
I
mean.
can tell you.
Why wouldn't they know the answers?
We can't
I
have
mean,
a
yeah,
conversation.
we're not scientists or air quality experts.
Josh,
I mean,
Josh,
yeah,
Josh,
Have
don't
a
get into
conversation,
conversation.
Josh.
Sorry. Okay, so, any further discussion? Oh, is there a second, or?
I'll second.
It's been amended.
It's been amended a few times.
What's the,
Well, mine isn't
is
an
the
amendment because
motion?
I don't have a vote, so.
Okay, so
It's just a
I think the amendment was to instruct the county administrator to send a letter to the West Virginia DEP asking them to come speak to the county commission and subsequently take prepared questions and non-prepared questions and give us clarification on what self-monitoring is.
yeah, that sounds good.
Is that right?
Yeah, that works.
Okay,
Whose
I'll
motion is
second.
it?
It's Peter's motion, so I'll second
Okay,
it.
and you restated it, okay.
Was that your motion, Peter?
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with the amendment.
Just- I'll second Peter's motion. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, the second one, number 9, also mine. Over the past month, a lot of questions about pilot agreements, how they work, how, and thought occurred to me that we have to come up with a mechanism, and I'm offering this right now for, I'm introducing it. There's a lot of groundwork and thinking that's going to have to go into making something out of it. First of all, I don't even know if what I'm thinking of is legal. There may be other things that are kind of similar that are within our purview. So we need to think about this and do a little bit of research. The other thing is, since the school board takes 80% of the property taxes, they would have a big say in what I'm thinking of. But basically, what I'm thinking of is the theory that you give a tax break to an entity, you ramp up or not, but once they start moving production out of the front door, then they pay full freight. And obviously, at that time, their property value is higher than when they just take a piece of undeveloped property. And I'm thinking, supposing somebody wanted to open a mom and pop, supposing there was an abandoned gasoline station that they wanted to refurbish, recondition, and turn into some sort of a store or something like that. A winery takes 5 years to before they start rolling production out of the front door and selling it. And even something, not that we need another McDonald's, but even that, where they're going to build a building and something along that line. So in order to encourage entrepreneurship and to recognize that this kind of stuff does take an investment on the part of the entrepreneur before any kind of profit is realized, what I'd like to do is to research, get Michelle involved in it, get Nathan in terms of the legal stuff. I'm not going to make a motion right now. I'm just laying this on the table, and I'm thinking, can this be made available to anybody, either within or without of the county, in order to encourage entrepreneurship? So I'll just lay that. There's no motion or anything like that, but I'd like to get input from our finance director, from legal counsel, from whatever. I voiced this at the end of the meeting with the JCDA yesterday, and legal counsel there had some questions as to whether we have the authority to do it, but if not, then I'm sure we can come up with something like it. But everybody that I've talked to seems to think it's a good idea, so I'd like to get into the not today, but...
Any comments by any commissioners?
Well, I just want, and it's not exactly along the same avenues what Peter's discussing. I just think we need legal counsel on reviewing our pilot agreement and any options we may have. If you want me, I can make that into a separate agenda.
Yeah, that's fine. If you want to put on the agenda next week, that's fine. All right, any other further comments on the pilot? I think, if it's a possibility, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, we'll just have to see where we
so-
end up. I don't know if we have the authority to do it or not, but we ought to be able to do something to encourage entrepreneurship.
All right, nothing further. Is your administrator reports quick?
Yes, I only have one thing, and I would like to do it right now.
Okay, perfect.
The reason
Have
why
at
is
it.
because I have received, after the agenda was posted, the city of Charlestown notified me that they would like to use the courthouse lawn for a band during their car show on Saturday. They would be responsible for all cleanup, but they're going to put them on the lawn. They're set up and clean up. They'd be gone by 6 p.m. I told him that I would have to ask you in order to authorize that.
A car on the lawn or a
No,
band
a
on the lawn?
band.
They're going to tear the lawn up? Have you talked to Bill or anything?
He did not indicate that he would, but I can give him, if granting him permission, saying if there's any damage to the lawn, Charlestown will be responsible for restoring it to the way it looked before they
Yeah, because
put the band there.
I don't know what kind of band it is, but they can probably get a little rowdy on rip up all the grass
At the
or
car
something.
show.
Somebody can.
Hey, man,
Might be
I got
symphonic
sports cars
now.
too, man. You know how these things go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
do they have any idea how much we spent on that?
Let's ask Bill this
Yes.
afternoon.
Well,
Yeah, I
and he
mean-
did, he contacted Bill first, and Bill said he did not have a problem with it.
Okay.
As long as they're going to be responsible for any
All right.
repairs or damages.
And that's, I would condition it upon that.
Okay, so you need a motion though, don't you?
I don't
You
think I need a
don't need a
motion. I
motion
just
for
think,
that?
I mean, they're
No.
gonna, it's in Charlestown. I don't want to grant permission without you all knowing that hey, I told them they could put a ban on the courthouse
So,
lawn.
all right. All right, so we're going to recess until 1:30 when we'll have a public hearing for the development grant for broadband and for agenda items 6 and 7. So thank you guys for coming out.